Stop getting the wrong advice. Ensure you get the right skills for the right job for jobs in the Middle East. Contact Loy Macedo.
So, what is the reality of Ramadan in UAE or the Middle East? What is the reality? In this video, I'll share with you stuff that they don't put in the papers or they don't talk about. Everything, the good, the not so good, and the bad or the ugly. Okay. Now, Ramadan, Islam, like Christianity, they're kind of similar in some ways. Like, the one God and all that. And then they have this thing of, like Christians have a season of Lent where they fast and do good and do charity and pray to God and repent for their sins and try to, become good human beings. So as to say that I'm trying to be closer to God. Same way, Muslims also have a season of fasting and praying and repentance and doing good. And until the time of Eid, or like in Christians, Easter. So now, on face value, or what they share on the media, or what they show is the good side. There are people who are fasting, there are people who are praying, there are people who do good. Okay. Now, let me give you a rough estimate. Let's assume 100%. Out of 100%, this is my opinion. Okay, my opinion is not official stats or mentioned in any publication. Out of 100%, I can tell you straight right off the bat, there are, let's say you take the Pareto principle, there are 20% who are hardcore, spiritual, who literally follow Islam and who give their, everything, who give their heart, their soul, their families to praying to God, to doing good. They follow the tenets properly. Okay, so now we have a 80%. Now out of the 80%, so 20% is very good Muslims. Now out of the 80%, you can straight away divide it into 40-40. Now the first 40 are the people who, they are the normal Muslims. They want to be good. They do their best to be good. They do their best to follow the rules. Will they fail? Yes. Do they tell anyone about it? No. But do they try? Absolutely yes. Okay. Now these are the kinds of people who, like for example, they will fast, but sometimes when they get tempted, they might just pop something in their mouth and not tell anyone about it. But it's not that they want to break the fast. They do their best. But it's like very rare. Most of them, you can be rest assured, they will try their best, their level best to succeed and complete the fast. Now comes the last 40%. So you have 20 really good, 40 do their best. The last 40 don't give a fuck, but they'll not tell you about it. The other ones who go to the toilets and they will smoke because they're chain smokers, they're addicted. The other ones who will pop something in their mouth when nobody is watching. The other ones who will try to bypass the rules whenever they can. How do I know this? Because obviously I've had friends who are holy, obviously I've had friends who are trying their best, and ones who don't give a fuck. Now, this is the good side, okay? That they do good and they help others. Now, what is the bad side of Ramadan? What is the ugly side? The side that nobody talks about. Okay. Now, fasting is actually good. It's good for the body, it's good for the system. Praying to God, good. You are at least being aware that someone keeps an eye on you. So you'll be accountable. Doing good for others, any day good. Spending money, 1 minute. Okay. okay, that was loud. Okay, spending money for charity and this and that, or building mosques, absolutely no issues. But I'll tell you where it loses its meaning. Where I find it absolutely pointless is, let's assume out of 365 days, okay, 365 days in a year, out of that, say, let's assume for the purpose of calculation, 65 days is where you're praying to God, fasting, doing all the good things, okay? 65 days is where you're actually giving yourself to God. But the minute Ramadan gets over, you go back into smoking, back into drinking, back into fucking, back into going to whores, back into treating people like shit, back into being racist, back into doing all the shit in the world. Then what is the use of this Ramadan? So 60 days I will do good, I'll pray to God, I will do charity. But after 60 days, I will go to whores, prostitutes, I will sleep with my neighbor, I will treat people like shit. I know some people who are doing illegal activities. My ex-employer, he is also Malayali Muslim. During Ramadan, he will pray to God, you know, give charity and all that. But after Ramadan is over, he was back into printing fake degree certificates, exploiting other people, destroying people's lives. He was not into prostitution, he was not into smoking, I don't know about alcohol. So what is the use? See, before the pandemic, how many Arabs used to come to Far Eastern countries for sex? How many? Now, I know I'm just talking about Arab Muslims. It's not that Westerners are anything good or Indians are anything. All of them are more or less the same. We are talking of human beings. But here I'm focusing on Ramadan, so I'm speaking of Muslims. So personally for me, I just look at it as one of the fad diets. Like, you know, this detox bullshit, you know, Atkins diet and all that. For 1 month or 1 week or 10 days or, you know, 2 months, you will eat clean, you'll lose weight, you'll do exercise in the gym. But once you lose weight and you reach that, you know, the attained body weight or the shape, you stop it and you start hogging, eating all the rubbish, doing all drinking. What is the use, man? Seriously, what is the use? I know some of you will say at least something is better than nothing. Yeah, that something is just face value. Why you're doing it is out of peer pressure. Why you're doing it is because everyone else is doing. See, I admire those Muslims. I admire those Arabs, like my mentor, who even when he went to Australia, even when he went to United States, he was still fasting. Just imagine, people in front of him are cooking. People in front of him are eating. People in front of him are dancing and whatever. But he is maintaining his fast. That is real fasting. Not this fasting that they have in the Middle East, where when Ramadan comes, everyone shut your restaurants, everyone shut the music, everyone supervising everyone. There's so much of peer pressure. So then it becomes easy. And I'll tell you how these people bypass the fasting. Not all, most of them. They will eat. I have literally seen, I've been with Arab Muslims, close friends of mine. They will eat the whole fucking night. They will eat from, I'm not exaggerating, from like 12 o'clock, no, sorry, from 10 or 11, all the way to before the call to prayer. They will eat barbecue, chicken, beef, chicken, beef, mutton. They will eat like till they cannot breathe. They will eat the juiciest, the most fattening foods. But just before, you know, the prayer, then they'll wash everything. Then they'll go to pray. And then they go to the office or whatever. They come back home early. They go early. They come back home early, so no traffic. And then they sleep. So basically what you have done is, you have flipped the switch. You have made night, day, day, night. So what fasting you're doing if you're sleeping the whole day? In fact, some of the Arab locals, some of the Arabs, some of the Muslims, they work lesser hours during Ramadan. They make non-Muslims work more. They go home early so they don't have traffic. Like normally people, these Arab locals, they leave at 4 o'clock to go home. So they reach home early by 5. Expatriates leave by 6. They get the full traffic. Can't blame them. That's their country. That's a privilege that they get. So in Ramadan, they even go at 2 o'clock. I know there are some employees in Emirates, Arab locals. Serious, huh? This is not hating on them. They will go and pray during office hours. They'll say this is Ramadan and they'll act holy and they look holy. They are not working at all. They are not working at all. And to prepare themselves to pray is half an hour. To go and pray and come back. And by the time they sit back on their chair, 45 minutes is over. So what work are you doing? You keep praying during office hours. Then they come like early when there is no traffic and nobody is there and there's no work. They'll sit with their smartphone and they'll be busy chatting and this and that. You'll know these Arabs who, before there was that white, iPhone, earphone. Now there is that wireless device. They'll be busy. I don't know what they're doing. And then, they will show no lipstick. They will show no this thing. They will show like they're holy and pious. Not all, like I told you. There are these. The problem is, when you see them, you don't forget them. So they remain in your memory. And then they'll go home early at 2 o'clock or like that. And you can't say anything, because if you say anything, they'll tell you are speaking against Islam. So what fasting is that? See, the real fasting that Muslims do, the real fasting, is if you see these Pakistani Pathans, okay, you see there some of our Asians, even Emiratis, some of them, Emiratis who really work, okay, they work in the sun. They literally work in the sun. But obviously Emiratis don't work as much as expats in the sun, because obviously they have air conditioning and all that. These Pakistani Pathans, they work in the sun. They are like laborers. They work in construction sites. Whether Ramadan, no Ramadan, they have to work in the sun. And during Ramadan, some of these Muslims really, really work. And I admire those Muslims who, they don't care even if you eat in front of them. They don't care what you do. They will maintain their principles. I respect those individuals. But see, fasting is, even though it's good and all that, it's not that easy. If it was that easy, we wouldn't have obese people. We wouldn't have people into addiction, into fast food, into temptations. It's not easy. And for the people who fast, I have spoken to them. They generally say first 1-2 days or 3 days, it's a little inconvenient. So the body has to get adapted to it. But after 3-4 days, they find it normal. They find it easy. And then, days just pass by. They don't even remember. In fact, so many of them, they just work like normal. But I can seriously tell you, the ones who don't fast, it becomes obvious and apparent. And it's very hard, impossibly hard for those who are smokers, who drink alcohol, who are into fast food. For them, it's not easy to control. And many of them, they like to show you that they are fasting and all that, but that's all bullshit. See, end of the day, let me tell you this. Whether you're fasting or whether you're bullshitting, you have to answer to yourself. For those of you who believe there is a God, well, you have to answer to Him. Me personally, these are all man-made concepts, is God and this and that. I just believe you need to be accountable to yourself. You need to be answerable to yourself, whether people are watching or not watching. Do what is right, do what you feel is right. You don't have to go around showing the whole world about it. So Ramadan in UAE is, it's a time where everyone has to follow. Many of them, like I said, out of the 100%, 20% hardcore, they stick to their religion and they follow rules. The next 40% do their best. They try their best. They might fail, but they are not going to give up. The rest 40% don't give a fuck. But they'll just show namesake. So this is what it is with Ramadan. But yeah, my only suggestion and tip for you is, if you are an expat going there, follow the rules. Don't eat outside. Don't get caught doing anything illegal. Stay at home, eat at home, drink at home. Don't try to break the rules. Respect the country. Follow protocol. And yes, it's always nice to wish these people, these Muslims, wish them, they feel happy. Wish them, give them good blessings. You know, so they're very gracious that way. But yeah, don't be like my mother, who used to go and meet these people during Ramadan and Eid because she would wish them so that she would get some money. Money and good food. And some of them are very generous. Huh? They cook food like 100 kg rice and 20 kg chicken every day, and they feed the poor. So some of them are really good. They really work hard to helping the poor. So my mother, and she used to actually go and take free food. Chicken biryani, this mutton biryani. And so they were very gracious that way. So this is what I would like to say, and support them, because especially the ones who are working, who find it tough. And if you can be, you know, a little, like, give them a helping hand or whatever during Ramadan, but let them know that you're not taking over the shouldering their work. Otherwise they'll think that is their new default. So having said this, for those who are religious and pious, it's a good detoxing session for you guys, mentally, spiritually, whatever. But and for those who just do it namesake, well, I hope you successfully do it without getting caught. Well, I used to shag this nice Arab female who would only shag me just immediately after the call to prayer. Then she would have wild sex. Oh, this was once upon a time. Anyway. Okay, this is what I have to say. Put your comments down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.
I am local. My name Shokhkal. I want job. How much? Salary? You give. Tamil?
Stop getting the wrong advice. Want a job in the Middle East? Contact Loy Macedo.